Ireland is usually described in simple terms: green fields, castles, quiet towns. But scattered across the country are places that don't fit that image at all. They look unnatural, out of place, sometimes uncomfortable. And the strange part is this: you can visit every one of them. Giant's Causeway, Northern Ireland. Walking along the coast, the ground suddenly changes shape. Flat stone becomes sharp. Everything turns geometric. This is Giant's Causeway. Thousands of stone columns fit together almost perfectly. They form stepping stones that disappear into the cold sea. Here's why it feels strange. It looks engineered, but it wasn't. This entire structure formed naturally through volcanic activity. 60 million years ago, a lava flow met the sea. It cooled, cracked, and shrank in a perfect mathematical fracture pattern. Your brain expects intention and doesn't find it. That mismatch makes the place feel unsettling. Look closer, and the columns aren't uniform. Some have 5 sides. Most have 6. A rare few have 4, 7, or 8. This is nature's geometry, not human design. The tallest columns stand at 12 meters high, stacked like a giant's abandoned toy blocks. There are no signs, no velvet ropes telling you not to touch. You can run your hand over the cold, tight joints so precise you can't slide a knife between them. The strangeness is in the silence of its creation. No blast, no chisel. Just heat, cold time, and a set of physical laws that built a staircase to nowhere. Skellig Michael, off the west coast. Far out in the Atlantic, an island rises straight out of the ocean. It doesn't emerge from the water. It attacks it. A pyramid of sheer, gray rock. No harbor, no shelter, just rock. This is Skellig Michael. To reach it, the sea must be calm. The boat ride takes over an hour, and the land doesn't grow as you approach, it looms. Once you land, you climb steep stone steps with no railings. 600 of them, carved by hand over 1,000 years ago. One misstep, and the Atlantic is waiting below. Here's the shock. People lived here for centuries. From the 6th century, monks chose this vertical desert. They built beehive huts from the island's stone, perched on terraces they carved themselves. They collected rainwater in carved cisterns. They ate fish, birds, and what little they could grow in patches of gathered seaweed and sand. They chose isolation on a rock in the ocean and stayed. The strangeness isn't just the isolation. It's the extremity of their commitment. They watched storms rage from inside stone domes, feeling the rock tremble. They lived in a world of bird cries and wind, completely removed from the Ireland of forests, kings, and wars. They weren't hiding. They were seeking a frontier so pure that every breath was a prayer. The island feels less like a retreat and more like a challenge, one they accepted, generation after generation. The Burren, County Clare. Travel west and the landscape suddenly loses color. The green softness of Ireland fractures and falls away. No trees, no soil, just exposed limestone. This is the Burren. At first glance, it looks dead. A lunar pavement of gray stone, stretching for over 250 square kilometers. The rock is scraped clean, etched with deep fissures called grikes. Then you notice plants growing in cracks, rare species that shouldn't coexist. Arctic alpine flowers, like the spring gentian with its piercing blue side by side with Mediterranean orchids. In one sheltered grike, you might find a fern from the last ice age. In the next, a wild thyme that smells of the south. Here's what makes it strange. A place that looks lifeless is one of the most biologically diverse regions in Ireland. The secret is in the stone. The limestone acts as a radiator, storing the sun's heat by day and releasing it at night, creating microclimates in the cracks. The grikes are deep enough to hide from the wind, moist enough to foster life. The pavement itself is not flat. It's tilted, a vast geological slab called a stratoplane, angled towards the sun like a solar panel. This is a paradox made of rock. It appears barren, yet it teems. It seems hostile, yet it nurtures. It is a landscape that refuses the simple story of fertility, writing its own complex, silent, and stunningly beautiful rules instead. If you're interested in places that don't behave the way they look, places that feel wrong until you understand them, subscribe. This channel focuses on travel beyond surface impressions. Polnabrone Dolmen, County Clare. In the middle of farmland, something appears without warning. Large stones. A narrow opening. Nothing else nearby. This is Polnabrone Dolmen, a portal tomb standing for over 5,800 years. It's older than the pyramids. Here's the strange part. No one knows exactly who built it, and yet it still stands, while everything else around it changed. It wasn't protected. It was simply left alone. The structure is a skeleton. The massive capstone, a single slab weighing over a ton, is propped on slender, angled uprights. Excavations revealed more than the monument's age. They found the bones of over 30 people, adults and children, buried in the chamber below. Personal items were left with them: a polished stone axe, broken pottery, and simple pendants. These fragments suggest a ritual, but the story is incomplete. The surrounding landscape, the karst of the Burren, has shifted and weathered over millennia. Farms came and went, roads were built, and modern life unfolded. But the dolmen remains, a fixed point in a changing world. It functions not as a ruin, but as a persistent question. Beehive huts, Dingle Peninsula. On the hills of the Dingle Peninsula, small stone structures appear. Round, windowless, low to the ground. These are ancient beehive huts, or clocking. Here's what makes them uncomfortable. People lived in these year-round. No insulation, no glass, no decoration. They don't look livable. They look functional, and that was enough. Their perfection is in their technique. No mortar holds the stones together. Each one is carefully placed, tilted slightly inward, forming a corbelled roof that closes in a capstone. This is dry stone masonry pushed to its logical extreme. A waterproof, wind-resistant shelter built with nothing but found rock and skill. The interior is a single, cramped chamber, dark and smelling of earth. A small, low entrance forces you to crouch, keeping heat inside. There is no chimney. Smoke from a central fire would have filtered slowly through the stones. 6. Hest Patrick's Purgatory, Lough Derg. On a small island in a lake, entry is controlled. Phones are not allowed. Food is limited. Comfort is minimal. This is Hest Patrick's Purgatory, a place of pilgrimage for over 1,000 years. Here's the shock. People still come here voluntarily, not as tourists, but to disconnect completely. In a modern country, this place resists modern life. The regimen is austere and non-negotiable. Pilgrims arrive and remove their shoes. They will not put them on again for 3 days. The pilgrimage consists of almost continuous prayer, fasting on a single daily meal of dry toast and black tea, and walking barefoot around stone beds, ancient penitential stations, while reciting prescribed prayers. Sleep is minimal, taken in basic dormitories. The modern world is not just ignored, it is actively barred. This creates a profound sensory shift. Without digital distraction, without full sustenance, without physical comfort, the mind turns inward. The island, Station Island, is tiny. You can walk its perimeter in minutes, but the experience is vast in its intensity. It is not a retreat, it is an ordeal. The strangeness lies in its continued thriving existence. Inismore, Aran Islands. On the largest of the Aran Islands, stone walls cover the land. They divide fields that barely support crops. Cliffs drop straight into the ocean. This is Inismore. Here's what makes it strange. The island looks hostile, yet people never left. Life adjusted to the landscape, not the other way around. The island didn't become easier. People became more resilient. Ireland isn't just scenic landscapes and castles. It's places that look engineered but aren't. Islands that feel unreachable. Structures that shouldn't still exist. These places weren't designed to impress. They were built, or left, for survival. If this video changed how you think about Ireland, subscribe. Because some of the strangest places in the world are the ones you can actually stand in.